Our Packers had another dominant performance, this time against the Commanders, but they are just getting started. A road game against the Browns is next, and we'll talk about all of that and more next on your Packers Fan Podcast.
Hello again, friends. I'm Scott Clark from the Gaming Outsider Podcast, and I am so proud to be a Packers fan. This was another beautiful week of football for a number of reasons, but a win over the Commanders felt especially nice, especially since Green Bay is the only team in the NFC North with a 2-0 record. Here's to 3-0.
Wayne Henderson, very happy to talk about another victory with you. And although I feel bad about Joe Burrow's injury, I don't want the Pack to even think about letting Malik Willis go. He needs to be part of this team as we head towards the Super Bowl, all right?
Very true.
Very true indeed. This is episode 323 of your Packers Fan Podcast, and this time around, of course, we're going to recap the great game the Pack played against the Commanders. Then we'll share some fabulous as well as heartwarming listener feedback.
Then Wayne and I will preview Sunday's Packers at Browns matchup, and I've got the keys to get another Packers victory. And speaking of victories, let's go ahead and talk about the leaders in that win over the Commanders. First off, on passing, Jordan Love, 19 for 31 for 292 yards, 2 TDs, 0 interceptions with a 113.9 passer rating. Awesome stuff. Rushing, Josh Jacobs, 23 carries for 84 yards and a touchdown. Receiving, Tucker Kraft, 6 receptions for 124 yards and 1 touchdown. Did not expect to get that kind of numbers out of Tucker Kraft. What a Kraft hack and cheese himself.
Yes, very good to see.
And on the defensive side of the ball, Edgerrin Cooper, 10 tackles, 7 of them all on his own. He had half a sack and 2 quarterback hits. Things are firing on all cylinders on all sides of the ball. Let's keep it rolling. First off, with the opening drives, we had the offensive drive first, had a solid drive until they got to the 30, went for it on 4th down and short. Solid defense by Washington in the end zone to keep Golden from being able to grab the pass. I want to know how you feel, Wayne, about this aggressive play calling at this point, going for it on 4th and down.
I absolutely love it, and I want more, I tell you.
I know you do. I feel completely the opposite. Once in a while, yes, but I want to pull. Was it Dan Campbell that always didn't punt once last year or something like that, or at least it felt like that way. But interesting there. Then the defensive drive, love it. 3 and out. It's just too bad that Washington pinned them within the 5-yard line when they punted. There was a flag. Not sure why it was picked up. They did not just quote get tangled up. That one seemed kind of rough. But the very next drive, the Packers defense had another 3 and out, forcing a punt. So things are looking very great on the defensive side of the ball.
They kept looking better and better on the offensive side of the ball because on our next offensive drive, Tucker Kraft, this is where he gets started. He gets a 57-yard reception that was a thing of beauty. And Jordan Love then scampered for a first down on that same drive, which made us a little nervous because we don't want him to get, demolished on the sidelines, but we'll take it. Wound up being a 96-yard drive that took 7 plays to end up with a short pass to Romeo Doubs in the end zone to give us a touchdown. Packers leading 7-0, and that's what I'm talking about, Scott.
Absolutely. The only thing that sucked for me is that in my fantasy football league, I am playing against a guy that had Tucker Kraft, who was projected to get like 6 or 7 points this game. And by the end of this, he had about 19.5. So I will take the Packers win. Don't get me wrong, but I got a couple players playing, just about to start that I really need them to pull through for me so I can get that dub because I lost last week. So looking forward to that as well. Jacobs had his second game with another TD. This time it was a 2-yard score. But keep in mind, this was a 92-yard drive. That's 2 drives in the first half for a score that were over 90 yards. The Packers led at this point 14-0. And I was feeling pretty good at this point. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, the fact that we don't get discouraged by being pinned within the 10-yard line and we can still just one step at a time, go down there, take care of business. On defense, we did hold the Commanders to a single field goal in the whole first half, which had me elated. And this included a missed field goal by Gay, which gave Green Bay 14 seconds left in the half. McManus had a shot to extend the lead, but he doinked the field goal. So the Packers go into the half leading 14-3. Later in the third, the Commanders missed another field goal.
Yeah, I'll take that. Keep missing them. We got our guy. We're locked in. And coming back to Tucker Kraft, what a hell of a game he had. Like we said, 57-yard catch in the first half. He had a touchdown reception in the fourth quarter to extend the Packers' lead to 2 scores. Man, I just have been very pleased. When he first started becoming a household name, I did not expect him to have games like this. I really hope it continues for the rest of the season. Now, it's impossible to not talk about lowlights, although it was close. This is another game that I was struggling to come up with negative things to say about the game, but the injuries obviously are still plaguing us. Reed had a fractured his collarbone. It was official. He will be on IR, but the early word is that he could be back by November. But even then, I can't imagine, how delicate he's gonna be. I don't want him to break it anymore. But Coach LaFleur did say today that Zach Tom potentially will be able to play this coming Sunday. We know that was a concern as well. So, we can't ever get through a season without injuries being a thing. But hopefully, these are just minor setbacks for us.
Yeah, nobody can get away scot-free, so to speak. But look at the Bengals. Joe Burrow out for probably at least half the year. That's not good at all. So good luck, Bengals. We're going to play in a few weeks, but
Allen as well is injured, isn't he?
Not sure. I could not keep track. There was so much going on in the games yesterday. All I know is that I'm getting just absolutely crushed in fantasy again this week. But
man, the guy that picks nothing but Packers players is getting beaten fantasy football.
I only have, I think, 2 Packers players. I'm not that one that got all the Packers players.
There was somebody that got like 3 or 4, but
yeah, all of my grandkids, they're in a league and they're playing against each other as well as some of their cousins.
If you're a kid, I'm totally fine with that.
It's okay when awesome. It's a kid.
Oh yeah, dude. Totally.
I see how it is. I do have a question though for you, Scott. Thinking back, did it seem to you like the Packers might have been playing a little uninspired in parts of the second half? I mean, if so, do you think it could just be chalked up to being a short week and then trying to avoid further injuries? Did it seem that way?
Not at all to me. To me, I kind of expected this question, honestly, Wayne. I think that it is the Packers being more conservative. They are not the team that is going to try to run up 50, 60 points over an opponent. They want to get the win. They want to stay healthy. They want to keep rolling. They know that this is early on in the season, and they don't want to be overconfident. They don't want to drive someone to the ground, be unsportsmanlike. They want to hold their ground and do it without risk of injury. And I think it's a smart play. That's just me.
So you think when we get to play against the Bears, we're not going to roll up 77 points?
I mean,
I'd love
as
us
a
to.
Packers fan, I would love that too, but I would love a healthy team going into the playoffs more.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
that makes sense. And there were numerous penalties not called by the refs. Micah Parsons was being held in quite an egregious manner on well over 10 plays that didn't get flagged. The Commanders tackled Matthew Golden on our own 1-yard line, which is fine, but then the defender goes back, lifts up Golden by one leg and kind of drops him. And again, I don't think there was a penalty flag thrown for that. I mean, please understand, I don't want to be that guy always complaining about the refs, but this was so blatant and so repeated throughout the game that has to be mentioned. So I
didn't notice the Micah Parsons things. I kind of just expected it because of how well he's been playing, and it's the only way they can stop him. So I didn't see those. I just, like I said, just expected it. But the Golden one, I did. I like, how do you not call that? It did not seem accidental. It was after the play was over. That one I will give you. But overall, I'm not feeling as negative about calls this season. I mean, again, it's only 2 years. It's only 2 games in the season so far. I'm not nearly as upset. I think the Packers, even though they are still very young, are reining that in a little bit. The flags are not nearly as much of an issue for us, and I'm more happy with that than I am upset about any flags not being thrown in our favor.
And I'm not really upset. I'm just looking for, a few things that might be considered lowlights. And there was a bit of frustration at the time, but It's all good now. Let's dig into our weekly poll question. You can find it in our Facebook group at PackersCommunity.com, as well as on X at Packers Fan Pod shortly after the game is done. This week, I asked Scott to come up with the poll question, and he delivered. What you got, Scott?
My question was, what's the best thing that the Packers have going for them heading into Cleveland? So your four options were, first off, the extra time for rest. Second, confidence with a 2-0 start. Third, Micah Parsons' presence. Or number four, it's the Browns.
Oh.
We did have one write-in vote as well. With being the 13-time NFL champion Green Bay Packers, that was a write-in from Mr. Dan Dowler himself. So Wayne, I thought this was a tough one because I feel like all things are contributing factors here. But if you only could pick one, what is the most influential thing heading for them into Cleveland?
If I only can pick one, I'm going to go with the extra time for rest, because after playing on a short week and now we're going to go on the road, I think those 3 or 4 extra days are critical, and the squad must have just been looking forward to it to no end. And so that's what I'm going to go with, though, like you said, they're all solid choices. How about you?
Boy, this is tough for me. I want to agree with you. I hope you're right, but I also know that the Packers have a rough time coming out of a break. I know this isn't a bye, but this is an extended break, and I just always get nervous about them coming back and firing on all 8 cylinders. But so like I said, I hope you're right. The confidence thing, I have a struggle with saying yes, because I don't want overconfidence to be a thing. And it's the Browns also brings in that confidence thing. So I'm going to say Micah Parsons' presence. I think from a player standpoint and a fan standpoint, his presence has made a huge impact. You listen to the crowd when he comes into the stadium and how they cheer for him when he gets a sack. They are so excited, both players and fans, to have him there. And not to mention the work that he's doing. He's able to do so much, and you may not see it as much, but he is opening the door for other players to get in there and get the job done, which is just as important. So yeah, I'm going to say his presence, both physically on the field and just from a camaraderie and fan standpoint, is huge for the Packers right now.
Excellent point.
The results we got here, most people agree with you, Wayne. There was 57% that said the extra time for rest was the most important. 19% agree with me and said confidence. No, I didn't say confidence. 19% said confidence with a 2-0 start. Only 8% agreed with me, saying Micah Parsons' presence is our best thing going for us. And 14%, it's the Browns. And then 2% agree with Dan and said being the 13-time NFL champion Green Bay Packers. And there you go.
Excellent. Thanks for doing the poll question this week, Scott. I was coming up blank. Mm-hmm. Plus, I had a really bad toothache or earache or both. I couldn't tell what was going on. But anyway, we got one comment on the poll this week. It was from Royal Storm on X saying, Joe Flacco having to play against this defense with Parsons having extra rest. This is going to be great because now Parsons has learned even more. And so it's going to be something to behold. So we want your input next week as well. Remember to join the Packers Fan Podcast Facebook community. Be part of the conversations at PackersCommunity.com, especially for our live game chat section. We're going to have another one for the Packers-Browns game, so tune in and join in.
I got to say, Wayne, it is pretty cool having Jordan Love on the offense and Micah Parsons on the defense. It's almost like you could call the Green Bay Packers the Jordan Parsons Project. Just saying.
Oh, okay.
That was terrible. All right, let's move on to some listener feedback. You can be part of the Packers Fan Podcast. We want your insights after watching the game against the Browns, but also your score predictions for the Week 4 matchup when the Packers face the Cowboys. Let your voice be heard by either A, recording your voice and attaching to an email and sending to feedback@PackersFanPodcast.com, or by calling the PFP voicemail at +1 920 3PACK-GO. Deadline for your feedback is Sunday at 10 p.m. Central, so please send it in right away while fresh with excitement. Thank you, and go Pack Go. What voicemails do you have for us?
Well, we do have Jared from Colorado, but before we get to his main voicemail feedback, he sent in a couple of teasers to play for you. Check this out. This is Parenting 101.
Wayne and Scott, Jared in Colorado. You want to see it? All right. Say, go, pack, go.
Go, pack, go.
Go, pack, go. Say, go, pack, go.
Go, pack, go.
All right. Yeah. So again, Jared in Colorado wanted to record a pregame recording with my son. If you guys remember last season, I sent a little recording of trying to teach him.
Pack, go.
Yeah, exactly.
Go, pack, go.
Yes. Good job, buddy. Anyways, wanted to share with you and the rest of the PFP community that he's come quite a long way in being able to pronounce that. All right, he's done. He's done with dinner. He's eager to watch the game. So I'm gonna stop this recording, and I will record some post-game stuff after the Packers win. Say, go, Pack, go.
Go, pack, go.
Fantastic. Because
That was really great.
look at how far he's come. Here's what he sounded like last year, which is getting an early start.
Go, go, go.
Go, Pack, go.
Hi.
Hi.
Fantastic, Jared. And here is his post-game information.
Wayne and Scott, it is I, Jared in Colorado, once again, calling about the game after the fact. And I love this football team. Guys, I know it's only week 2, but the Packers are looking really good. Like, really, really good. Like, to the point where, like, they are, if they keep this up, they are 100% going to be the favorites probably to win the division and probably a legitimate Super Bowl contender. That game went really well. The defense is looking, and I'm not trying to get too ahead of myself. I think this is a factual statement. I think the defense is looking so far best it's been since the Aaron Rodgers Super Bowl run. The fact that the Packers can just rush 4 and generate that much pressure with only 4 guys, and that just opens up so many opportunities for everyone else on the defense to make things happen. I mean, it's definitely the Micah Parsons effect, man. Like, it's amazing how just that one pickup has like completely changed the defense. And not to take away from Jeff Hafley, it's very clear that the defensive squad as a whole, even separate from Micah Parsons, is very much bought in on Jeff Hafley's scheme. You know, they've had a full off season to kind of like, you know, digest what they did the first season under his scheme and really kind of take it and run. So I'm loving the defense. The offense is looking phenomenal. It's just firing on all cylinders. I would like to see them clean up some small boneheaded penalties, play a little bit more disciplined football. I think that they easily have over 30 points last night if they just clean that up. So that's something I like to see. I'd like to see moving forward is just like, I mean, hell, maintain what you're already doing, man. And just turn it up a notch, clean up those penalties. And, you know, the Packers are looking like they could put up 30 points every week like it's nothing. So I'm really excited overall about the season so far. Great start to the new year. 2 back-to-back statement games with only 4 days in between. I mean, you're beating the Detroit Lions, who have had the Packers number for pretty much most of the Dan Campbell years. B, I mean, the Lions have just looked absolutely just like juggernauts. The last couple of seasons, they've been absolute juggernauts, just powerhouse offense, powerhouse defense. They were widely considered to be the favorites to go to the NFC Championship last year and potentially win the Super Bowl. So the fact that we beat them and then 4 days later beat the Commanders, who actually made it to the NFC Championship game and were the ones that beat the Lions to prevent them from going, man, I just can't say enough good things. So I'm really pumped for this new season. Really, really unfortunate about Jaden Reed. One of my fantasy football apps came out with a notification that he did end up fracturing his collarbone, which unfortunately I kind of figured might have been the case based off how he landed. So not to minimize it, but at least it's a fracture, not a full-on break. So hopefully he recover. It means it's a little bit of a quicker recovery and we can get him back on the field because Jaden Reed is definitely a big deal. It makes a big difference on the offense. So yeah, have a couple notes I took during the game. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but pay attention to Jordan Love when they play replays and they're focusing on his face. He has a tendency to just like lick his lips in a circle when he's getting ready to throw the ball. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but it's something I've noticed over the last couple of seasons, and it's really kind of funny, especially when you see it in slow motion. I put an all caps slide with a bunch of exclamation points. I think that was in reference to Jordan Love scrambling to get the first down. Love that he got the first, but that looked like he took a pretty good hit. And then I said, I have another all caps note, not Kraft 2. That was when he went down a little bit, but he was right back in the game and ended up scoring a touchdown. So one last thing, it's an old note I took or jotted down when I listened to one of your guys' off-season episodes. It was, I can't remember which episode it was, but it was at one point Wayne was talking about how he essentially saves everything from every episode on the podcast. And I chuckled because it reminds me of like, and Wayne, you would self-describe yourself, I think, as a digital hoarder. And yeah, I chuckled because it's basically the digital equivalent of every guy having that random pile of cords from devices of old that they're probably never going to use ever again, but we keep them just in case. Anyways, just a funny little thing I thought of when I listened to that episode. So anyways, guys, love that the podcast is back. Love that football is back. Excited for what's next. Love you guys. If anyone's going to be in the Denver area when the Packers come to Denver to play the Broncos, there's a very good chance I will be at that game. So yeah, would hopefully love to see anyone from the PFP that might end up doing the same. All right, that's it. Go Pack Go, great and cold till dead and cold. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed my son mastering his Go Pack Goes.
Hey, thanks, Jared. Appreciate that. And I loved hearing the Go Pack Goes. That was great. Yes, Wayne is a digital hoarder. I used to be a hoarder of cords until my wife found them and made me get rid of most of them. So I have my collection has been depleted quite a bit, but I know what you mean. You hang on to them because that one time that you need that random cable, I've got that, and then you feel awesome and it's worth it. But that's not happening anymore. Yes, I agree. The Packers are looking really good. I thought the defense looks as good as they did when they won the Super Bowl. That is a bold statement, man. You're getting me excited. I want this to, could you imagine the youngest team in the NFL winning this thing? What a story that would be.
I can imagine it. I sure can.
And now that you said that about Jordan Love, I've not noticed that. There is no way I am not going to unsee it ever. I'm going to be looking for it, even though I don't want to see it. I'm not.
Thanks, Jared.
Yeah. What do you think, Wayne?
I think Jordan needs to slide a little more often. But I love what you brought up about we could potentially score at least 30 points every single week. That calls for a Go Pack Go.
Go Pack Go indeed. But I mean, we got a rough schedule ahead of us, man. I know we had a rough start.
Oh, we got this. No worries. No worries. Let's see who gave us a call at +1 920 3-Pack Go.
Wayne Scott, Art from Texas. Oh man, I'm trying to not get too excited, but I can't help it. Like I can't help think of the Super Bowl. Like I know it's Birdie game 2, I know, but man, they look good. Like Adrian Cooper and Michael Parsons makes an impact just by being in the lineup. And I'm scared and nervous about injuries. I think that's about the only thing that can stop us now. The injuries. That's it. Other than that, yeah. Keyshawn Nixon, oh my gosh. Wow. I'm pretty speechless right now. But, man, I hope they can continue. And for freaking injuries, I hope there's, man. Oh, well, guys, another week down. And let's look forward to the Browns and see what happens. Go Pack Go.
Go Pack Go indeed, Art. Thanks for giving us a call from the great state of Texas. It is very hard to not get too excited and to stop thinking about the Super Bowl. Trust me, I'm right there with you. And Scott's probably looking at me right now with like, okay, guys, okay. But you do make
bring it back, Wayne. Bring it back.
It's hard to do. Do you know, I was looking online today at the standings, and for the entire NFC, because of tiebreakers and all the things, if the playoffs were to start today, we would be in line to host the NFC Championship game. We're ahead of the Niners. We're ahead of the Eagles. Just need to keep on winning. And Art, I agree. Only injuries can stop us now.
I agree. Let's reel it in just a little bit.
Yeah. Don't be a
the playoffs for tomorrow after 2 games. Come on, dude.
Hey,
we got a lot of season left.
Well, I'm thankful we have a lot of season left. It's but a formality. Go Pack, go.
Go Pack, go indeed. What else you got, man?
Hello, gents. David Hawkins in Arlington, Virginia. Really happy that we're 2-0. And that was a really, really good, strong performance against the Commanders. I grew up a North Carolina Tar Heels fan in Central Virginia, where everyone else was either a UVA or Virginia Tech fan. So I always took a little extra satisfaction when my team beat the team that seemingly everybody else was rooting for. So it does feel a little better when the Pack beats Washington, even though I feel a little bit bad for Washington fans. They've been through it for a while now, and I know what that feels like. But not bad enough to want the Commanders to beat the Packers. So I am super happy. Definitely wearing the green and gold with pride around the DC area this week. Speaking of the performance, I think the defense looked really good to me. I think in years past, there's always been a fear, probably in the last 5 years, there's always been a fear, even though we've had good defenses, that there were the next big play was just around the corner. So the other team, biting off a 50-yard run or a 60-yard pass or something like that, just seemed like we were vulnerable in that way. But in the last 2 games, and particularly against the Commanders, it just seemed like we were swarming to the ball no matter where it was on the field. It's like we had about 14 or 15 guys out there as opposed to just 11. So I just thought, man, if we have a defense like that all year, we're going to do well. So really appreciated that. Hated to see Jaden Reed go down. Hope he feels better soon. Hope that heals up. I know a collarbone is not something that's quick to heal or easy. So definitely thinking about him. Hoping maybe we get to see a little Matthew Golden in the weeks ahead. I think he had an ankle that was tweaked before the game against the Commanders, but I did that one pass straight down the middle that he actually got behind the secondary. Just Love overthrew him a little bit. Has me really excited. I think Golden's going to add a lot to that receiver core. I know on Facebook when we were live chatting during the game, I made a big deal out of the double doink. I feel like that's just something that's it's a lot of fun to see. Probably pretty rare to have 2 in a game, and it kind of made me wonder. You know how Canadian football has that rule that if you punt the ball out of the end zone, you get a point. Maybe there's room in the NFL. I don't know what you guys think, but would love to see some sort of entertainment around those doinks, because it's probably harder to hit the upright than it is to kick it through, frankly. But anyway, just, thanks to Chris Berman. I grew up with a steady diet of Chris Berman, so love to see those doinks and other noises associated with football around the field. So really appreciated that. And then just thinking ahead to Cleveland, I'm feeling good about it, but I also know that, you don't want to fall asleep on any team in the NFL, I guess. But I was taking a look through Cleveland's last 2 games, and they actually outgained both Cincinnati and Baltimore. Cincinnati 327 for Cleveland, 141 for Cincinnati. And Baltimore 323 for Cleveland and 242 for the Ravens. The key seemed to be, I don't know, I didn't watch either game, but the key seemed to be that Cleveland lost the ball twice in each game. So anyway, certainly would love to see the Pack go up and romp through Cleveland, but want to keep expectations in check. So I think, guys, I'm gonna predict a 24-7 score in Green Bay's favor, 24-7. So anyway, thanks as always, and go Pack, go.
Go Pack, go indeed. Thank you, David. Appreciate the voicemail as always. I'm with you on Matthew Golden. We were so excited to draft him, and we've yet to see a lot out of him. Granted, I know he's a fresh rookie. He's still got to gel. There's a lot of things to work out, but I'm just really excited to see things happen with that dude. So, and as far as being in DC, when your team beats the home team, where you're from, dude, I live right near Chicago. I know the feeling. Trust me. It is very difficult to temper that a little bit, but I've been pretty good about doing that. How about you, Wayne? What's that like out there in California?
Well, between the Rams and the Chargers hogging up the local airwaves if they play the same time as the Packers, so thankful for the NFL Sunday ticket. There's a lot of people that are mysteriously all of a sudden Rams fans after they won the Super Bowl, but up until then, I didn't see hardly any Los Angeles Rams fans. And when the Raiders moved away, some of their fans became Chargers fans, but I still see a fair amount of Raiders. But really, in the top 5 most represented teams that I see around my area, it's the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah. I mean, they're everywhere, man. Like
Exactly.
No matter where you go, they're just all over. We went to Tennessee, and there was more Packers fans there than there were Titans fans. It was kind of crazy. It's good to be a Packer fan.
Indeed. And I agree with David. I want to see some more Matthew Golden, at least starting this week, if not by the time we get to Dallas, because he's a big acquisition. We took him in the first round, and for whatever reason, things just haven't gelled in these first 2 games. But hopefully it's coming our way.
I agree. Well, let's move on to some emails. We got one that says, "Hey, this is Caleb Cathy and Roy Fisher from Green Bay, Wisconsin. What a fantastic game against the Commanders. Our defense is looking great. Although we missed a field goal, we still did a great job in the game, and we hope Jaden Reed will be okay. Now let's get some rest, and let's get ready to go to the Dog Pound in Cleveland. Until next time, this is CCR saying, go Pack, go. Bleed green and gold till dead and cold."
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Also got an email from Megan. Says, how amazing is it that we are 2-0 just 5 days into the season? It's so exciting to see this year's team. The first drive, 6 targets, topped off with 6 for Tucker. What a start. The first quarter felt so long, and it was awesome because I hate it when the game goes by too fast. Daniel Whalen with the 65-yard punt, like it's no big deal. And let's talk about Love spreading the love to 9 different receivers in the first half. He maintains a lot of composure in the pocket and seemed to have a lot of time to toss it way downfield. And our defense, oh my gosh, the third quarter drive, and I say that in quotes on purpose because they didn't get past what? The 1? So good. And that punt setting up such nice field position. And our offensive line has completely dominated the line of scrimmage so far. I just want you guys to know you still have my full support. And my mom's. She brings up the Facebook poll every week, even if I'm not able to call in the same way that I used to. So go Pack Go from Megan. Thank you so much for that. And I'm glad your mom's keeping you posted with the poll when it comes out each week too.
That's hilarious. Well, good to hear from you, Megan. Even if it is text instead of voice, that's totally fine. Hope you're doing well, and go Pack Go.
Indeed. Now let's take a look because all of a sudden it's going to be Sunday. How about those first place and undefeated Green Bay Packers? And now your 2-0 Packers head out on the road to face the 0-2 Cleveland Browns Sunday, September 21st, 12 noon Central Time. The Packers lead the series 14 games to 7. Not many meetings at all over the years, even though this series goes back to September 27th, 1953. And it's hard to believe that our first ever matchup was a shutout, and not in the way we'd prefer it to go. Green Bay lost that first matchup 27-0. On the plus side, our Packers have won the last 4 games against Cleveland. The Browns haven't won a game against us since the year I started podcasting, which was 2005.
And the year I got married.
There you go. See, a lot of things were happening that year. Good stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty surprised at how many NFL greats have played for both the Packers and the Browns. Especially surprised to see Willie Davis on that list. But also Frank Winters, Tremont Williams, Doug Peterson, Andre Rison, and even Zadarius Smith. The fact that weather might be happening in Cleveland around game time could change things a little bit. It could be a wet 77 degrees Fahrenheit at kickoff with some scattered thunderstorms throughout the day. That's around 25 degrees Celsius, so keep your ponchos handy. About a 40% chance of rain, so be ready.
Rain at a game is no fun. I've actually been to a Browns game, but it was a preseason game up at Lambeau.
Okay.
And since it was so early in the season, it was pretty warm out. Too warm for football for me, but it was still a gorgeous day. And, it's always good to be at Lambeau. Well, Wayne, it is time for some keys to a Packers victory over the Browns. And I'm going to kick things off with strategy number 1, which is Parsons' exploitation of the Browns' offensive line. This is a really big weak point for Cleveland. This is going to be another opportunity for Parsons to make a huge impact against an aging quarterback. His presence should continue to cause problems for the Browns, even if he's not the one making the big plays himself. He's allowing the others to make things happen since they're going to be more or less forced to double team him. This is a prime opportunity for the defense to shine here as a whole, not as a single player. Strategy number 2, be prepared for a solid defense as well. If Cleveland has any shot to win this game, it will not be with their offense. Their defense, however, is actually pretty stout. They're one of the few in the league that can give Packers offense a run for their money, especially if Myles Garrett is healthy. As much as I'd like to say that this game should be a gimme, the offense should be prepared for a tough time. They are number 1 in total defense with 191.5 yards allowed per game, number 1 in rushing defense with 45.5 yards allowed per game, and number 3 in passing defense with 146 yards allowed per game. With all that being said, they did allow 41 points last week, so here's to hoping for a repeat from the Browns defense. Strategy number 3, capitalize on the quarterback situation. Joe Flacco is 40 years old, and he's not able to move quite like he used to. He'll be passing a lot more since he's clearly not going to be doing that much rushing. This is prime time for the secondary to take advantage of the situation and rack up some interceptions. The Browns' only other option is rookie Dylan Gabriel, and head coach Kevin Stefanski has made it clear he's not interested in pitting him against Micah Parsons and the rest of the Green Bay defense. This is the defense's time to shine for certain. And there you have it.
I love that. Maybe we'll get a strip sack fumble return for a touchdown, as well as maybe a pick 6 against the Browns. Our defense is hungry.
I like it. Let's do it. Moving on to our 2025 season wager of fun. We still have not can't come up with an idea, at least one that Wayne accepts. Although you did have some people clamoring for it on Facebook this week. Just saying.
I'm thinking about other options that might be even better.
Oh, I don't think you're going to come up with a better one than the loser wearing a kilt to work for a day. I just don't think it's going to happen. But last week it's pretty interesting. I had a prediction of Green Bay winning 27-20, and you had a prediction of Green Bay winning 28-17. Would you believe, Wayne? It's another tie.
Oh my!
We both had a differential of 2 points.
That's crazy. After all the years that we never tied, and last year being the season of ties, this will be the only tie this year.
So you got 1 on me. It's 1-0 in favor of you, and 1 tie, which means nothing.
Yeah,
but there it is. It saved me from a loss, is I guess what I'll say.
Okay.
As far as the Packers fans, listeners, Jay Walters, the big winner this week, he predicted Green Bay 28, Washington 20. That was only a differential of 3 points. That was pretty good. I will say I did guess the Packers score exactly. That got that exactly right. I just missed Washington by 2 points. So anyway, like I said, Wayne is leading with 1. I have 0, but we do have a tie. And the first place for the listeners is tied between David Hawkins and Jay Walters. They each have 1 win, and that's it. We've just got 2. We got the game 3 coming up this week, so make sure to get those predictions in. As for this week, I'm going to kick things off, and I think this is going to be a domination. I think this is going to be a 2-score game. The defense is going to hold them. I'm going to say Green Bay 27-13. How about you, sir?
Fair enough. I'm going to say the Packers are going to get at least 29 points. We'll probably break through that 30 barrier yet again, but 29-14.
Interesting. All right. Here are the listeners' picks for week number 3 of the Packers Fan Podcast. Wager of fun. Garrett Stritzel, Green Bay 28, Cleveland 13. Jay Walters, 31-17 in favor of Green Bay. Brett Connor, Green Bay 30 and Cleveland 17.
Nice. And didn't David Hawkins on his voice message say Packers 24, Browns 7?
Yeah, he did.
All right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. That's good stuff, because in the NFC North, the Packers are 2-0. The Vikings are 1-1. The Lions are 1-1, and the Bears are 0-2. The off-season champions are going down in flames, and it's only week 2, and I'd love to see it.
They were doing pretty well in the first half last week, and lost it in the fourth quarter last week. This week they just got spanked. It's just holy cow. I've actually seen some of my friends on social media say that they're Bills fans now. Like it's getting pretty bad over there. So hey, speaking of other games, though, did you happen to catch any of the Dallas New York game?
Mostly the fourth quarter. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I didn't get to tune in until overtime because I was watching the other game, but I got some recap before it went into overtime, and there is just some banana stuff that went on in that game, just like crazy. I really did not like to see Dallas win that one, but it is what it is.
And weren't they just within 4 seconds of overtime ending in a tie?
Yes. Yeah, I was like, all right, this is great. I'll take the loss, but a tie is going to be great. Unfortunately, it did not happen.
There was so much going on. For me, something that just stood out, kind of not football related, but Bruce Dickinson, the lead singer for Iron Maiden, he sang the national anthem, the American national anthem, at the Steelers game yesterday, and I think he did a fantastic job of it.
It was interesting. You actually shared it with me. I didn't know that happened. And I watched it, and it took him a minute to get going. Like at the beginning, I was like, "Does he know the song?"
Oh, Scott!
It did, dude. I'm a big Iron Maiden fan. Don't get me wrong, but it seemed like he was struggling a little bit. But once he got going, it was golden. And you never see metal singers do the national anthem, so that was pretty awesome. All right. My other podcast, The Gaming Outsider, has a new episode out this week, and we are recapping Nintendo's latest live stream direct. Can you believe it was over an hour straight of announcements? Lots of good things to talk about that were revealed.
Wow.
I highly recommend you check it out. You can also hear my show at the same place you listen to this one. And our website is thegamingoutsider.com. I hope you check it out. And also our convention is coming up on October 11th. It's going to be so much fun. I cannot wait for that to happen. And I hope you guys can make it out. Details can be found at thegamingoutsider.com/R2V2.
Thank you so much for continuing to support your Packers Fan Podcast. You can check out the details on how to become a PFP patron at packersfanpodcast.com/giveback. Like Jay Walters, who much like Bart Starr, calling his own plays and with a lot of success. Well, go Pack Go, and thank you for all your support of the show, Jay. And Dan Dyler, ready to dominate like Jordan Love. Go Pack Go, and thank you for your J Love 10 level support, sir. Or should I say, Captain?
Thanks, and Go Pack goes to these fine Brett Favre level patrons: Scott Boris, Miguel Ramirez from the Opposite Track Podcast, and Megan. And at the Curly Lambeau Founders level, Go Pack Go, and thank yous to Hank Davis from the @Free Podcast Tools YouTube channel, Brett Connor, and Joe Christensen. If you are interested in joining in, check out the details at packersfanpodcast.com/giveback. The Unofficial Packers Fan Podcast is not affiliated with the NFL or the Green Bay Packers, but we would love to be if you're listening. Please tell even more of your friends about the Packers Fan Podcast.
And even remind them to follow us on X or Twitter at Packers Fan Pod. Follow Scott at GoCastScott. Follow the Gaming Outsider at The GoCast, or follow me at Wayne Henderson. Now, as our first road game is next, here's the PFP community members Andre in LA, Joe Christensen, Megan, and Dan Dyler with their Go Pack Go outro to keep us company out on that lonely road all the way to Cleveland.
Go Pack Go!
Go Pack Go!
Go Pack Go!
Go, 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 Pack Go!